Hi guys, and welcome back to Bikes and Aces, where today I'm going to do a very short blog on my first Zwift run. So I signed myself up to Zwift after watching Chris play it a lot. For those of you who don't know what Zwift is basically a bit of a training platform that's also combined with a game. So the idea is when you run or cycle in real life on your turbo, rollers or treadmill, and then your character in-game moves. So it's kind of a great way to go on a run outdoors when you're maybe training indoors. So perfect for the current situation we are in, but also just for indoor training if you can't get out for any reason. Okay, so my first Zwift run, I was super excited to be able to get my run pod, which I've attached to my trainers, which I think might, when I get a new pair, become my indoor trainers. Let's start with the setting up. Okay, setting up Zwift, setting up the actual Zwift for just signing up and everything is easy enough. Getting the foot pod set up was a little bit more tricky, and I don't really know how I did it, but everything kind of connected up. So now I've got my cadence sensor set up and even my heart rate monitor set up. So by the time I do my next one, I can also track my heart rate. Once we got it all set up, I then had the help of Chris to get it calibrated. So we had the treadmill set up and we loaded the game and we kind of set it at the speed that I would normally run at. It then gives you the speed that you work at as well as the higher end and the lower end. And it gets you to run for about 40 seconds at each of them so it can calibrate it to your run on a treadmill. Once all this was done, we jumped in and went for a run. So it threw me in at, I believe it was Mayfield, and it was just a track. It was basically the equivalent of a 400 meter track. You know, I walked for a bit on the treadmill and it picked up the walking, so I found that perfect. And then I went and I did a bit of run. So alongside the Zwift game that you can have on whatever item it is you can also have the Zwift companion app. So this is somewhere where you can see kind of how far you're running, see roughly the map you're on, not zoomed in that much, but enough that you can kind of see where you are. And there's also some handy little things so you can wave at people, give people a bit of a thumbs up, or even take a photo and change the views as well. So I really like the aspect that you can kind of change from looking at you to kind of looking at a bit of an aerial shot, or even looking at the people, so it's almost as though you are running as you. So I found this quite a nice touch. Yeah, the first run I kind of started, it was essentially a way I was just planning to set it up, and then I got to a point where I realised, hang on, I've actually got a half an hour training session I've got to do. So I set up my Wahoo and my heart rate monitor and everything else, and then decided to throw another 30 odd minutes on. Throughout that, I found various things so I could change direction. So I eventually went off the track and down the road, and it was quite nice because then I was running down the road and there were various cyclists coming down, which was really good. And I think my favourite part of my first Zwift run was the fact that I found the arch where you go under the water. So at that point my brain said to me, I don't care how far you have to run, I want to go and see the fish. So yeah, I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Getting it set up was a little bit of a faff, but once I got it, it's there. It's set up. Don't know how. Magic. The gods were with me, obviously. And it's all equipped. It works fine with the treadmill. There's no problems. The foot pod works fine. No problems with that. And it's nice to be able to go and see some of the different places. So after my session, I went and I just had a look at some of the different options. Currently there are 3 different maps. So there is London, New York and Watopia. Watopia is the one I think that is always accessible. And each of those has a different route that you can follow. Now, some of these routes, you have the start, you do the route, and then you have the finish. So it makes a nice loop. Others, however, you have to run a bit to get to the start. So this is a little bit of a downfall because if you want to go and run a particular 10k route, but you have to get there first, then you might find that you're running more than 10k. There are some really good routes on there though, and I am quite excited to go and see them just from what I've seen of Chris's. I've got a little bit of a way to go because I've got to unlock some more levels first, but it's really nice. We customised the character, so I've got some slightly more team relevant colours going on. As I say though, I haven't unlocked very much. I am literally just starting it. Other things I really like are you can set goals, you can also choose some of the workouts and choose some of the training plans. So I had a little bit of a look at some of the training plans, but I'm not going to register or do any of them because I already have my own training schedule. I believe there is a way, I do need Chris to teach me because I am new to all of this, but I believe there is a way that I can actually set up my own training plan on there, which means whenever I get my training schedule through, I could possibly go and put it on Zwift and then be able to see and run with my character. So yeah, my very first session on Zwift, I really enjoyed, and because of the gamer in me, I think I am definitely going to use it a lot, and I think it's going to be really good for me on the treadmill. Anyone who's watching this who knows me knows I don't like the treadmill. I struggle on the treadmill because I tend to find it quite boring. But I think having this kind of gamification of it is going to be kind of a really nice way to keep my mind occupied. I have tried other things. Music doesn't work. I've even tried reading a book on the treadmill. Would not recommend it. Audiobooks. It's got to be the right one. So yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I keep looking over at my treadmill. I think it's going to be really good. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and it should be quite an interesting adventure. Obviously, I have spotted some places that I really want to get to, but they are level 10 and 12 and long distances, so they're a bit of a while off. But I am quite looking forward to going and exploring some of the routes and seeing more of the fishies and the dolphins. So yeah, that is a very short, very random vlog about my first Zwift run. I'm looking forward to doing another one, and also looking forward to taking part in some of the races and some more of the casual runs as well. So maybe at some point you will see me on there. If you do and you happen to recognise me, then do feel free to say hello. Right, I'm going to leave it there. If you enjoyed this little vlog, then do give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and please do share with family and friends. We really appreciate all of your support and everyone who has subscribed so far and liked and commented on all of our videos. If you want to get in touch, you can also find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Bikes and Laces, and you can also drop us an email as well. You should be able to find our email address on one of the various social media sites. For now though, enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you will have a lovely week.